Alright, well today we're going to be repairing a roof flashing. It's going around the chimney here, and the problem with it is we've got spots that have lifted up that aren't sealed anymore, and down below it's leaking water. We've got mildew problems, and so the first thing we need to do is we need to clean off all the excess debris and get all the junk from out of here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, and the lighting's kind of weird here, but there's all these loose roofing nails that need to be secured properly. We're gonna lift this flashing up. We're going to clean out from under here and put a layer of roofing mastic underneath to provide watertight seal underneath. Then we're going to come put our roofing material on top, our cloth all the way around this whole flashing to make sure it stays down. And then we're going to put more roofing material on top of that. A couple things we're going to need. You're going to need a pad, something to kneel on while you work. I brought a piece of foam. It works pretty well. You need some WD-40 for cleanup. It's pretty important. Gets the roofing mastic off. Some gloves so you don't get material all up on your hands. Rags for cleanup. These will all get tossed at the end of the job. Good quality roofing sealant. You can use anything you want. I chose this. I went with the top of the line stuff that they had at Home Depot for what I'm going to do. You need a good cloth to make sure that your roofing mastic doesn't crack after it gets weathered a little bit. A good trowel, spread it on. Again, you'll probably only use this 1 or 2 times, and it'll be so messy you'll have to get rid of it. Some good screws, deck screws or wood screws that'll secure the flashing down. You're going to use a lot of them. We're not just going to use 1 or 2, but you'll probably use 20, 30 screws to hold a decent sized flashing down. You want to screw it in all different areas and really make sure you get it good. And that's it, and a bucket to carry everything in. I also brought a drill and a broom to clean everything off with. I'm also going to get my hammer, and I'm going to use that to scrape, pull up the nails, pry the flashing up, a couple crowbars. That's pretty much what you're going to need just to even get started. Here we go. Whatever you can get off, it's more than likely going to fall off really soon anyways. So scrape real hard, get as much of that old material off as possible. What we're going to do is going to be far better than what was already here. We've cleaned off a lot here, and you can start to see how it's much smoother. It's still messy. You can see a lot of the old material, but we've scraped most of it away. All the loose stuff has come off, and we're now able to pry this guy up. I pulled out the nails, and I'm about ready to put my roofing mastic underneath here to seal that up. Okay, we've got some mastic under there. Not a ton, but enough that when we squish this thing down, there will be a nice waterproof seal in there. Now I'm about ready to start screwing this flashing down so it's sealed tight to the roof everywhere. Okay, you can see here where we put the screws, how tightly we put them together. We put them in such a way that the mastic here actually squishes out. There's a screw probably every 2 inches or so. And as we move on down the line, we didn't necessarily have leaking here, but you can see the flashing would lift up. And so I still put a screw everywhere I saw that the flashing had a tendency to lift up. To move on over this way, there was some bubbling and some swelling on the edge of the flashing there. Now keep in mind, that's where we're going to put our tape. Our tape line is going to go right over the seam. It's going to give strength to that seam. I'm going to finish throwing this on here. After we've got this on all nice, next comes the tape. Okay, we've laid our cloth down. Now we're pushing it down just a little bit to make sure it's got a nice even seal. I'll come into the light here so you can see a little bit better how that works. Kind of smooth it out ever so gently. And you can always put mastic down over the top of this stuff, and it'll seep through. So we'll put some more mastic in this corner right here in just a minute, where it's a little thin. Again, this will protect against cracks. So we got our cloth down all the way here, all the way up here. Here we are a little while later. We've actually covered up our cloth with the last of the mastic. Everything has a nice, good coat of roofing mastic on it. It's got cloth underneath it. It's not going to crack. It's all screwed down tight to the roof. We went around the top where the flashing comes down and even put cloth on the wall of the chimney. Everything looks pretty good. We follow the natural flow of water here. It looks like the water would roll down the chimney here and come down here. Doesn't look like we're gonna have any leaks.